What a collection it would be if he could complete it here at the Tour.
Well, think of his 2 Giro stage wins, both in wet conditions.
I thought people moved to Queensland to get into the sunshine.
Oh,
well.
And that's why they were gingerly through the corner. Double wheel slide for Harry Sweeney. We saw it yesterday on the paint near the finish. For Florian Lipovic also almost coming undone. But Groves piling the pressure on. Another slide by him. He's a former motocrosser. He's like, this is great, loving it.
Things settled down again.
Wow.
Stewart looking to try and hold on. Sweeney has held on here. Giga and Eenkorn alongside Trentino are slightly distanced. Frank van der Broek pedalling away for his life. They're just trying to sort out this group, thin it down, whittle it down as much as possible. Velasco's in there and he's a real fighter. What form he's had this year. Romeo opening a little gap for Sweeney. And Van der Broek, Groves, Velasco, Gregoire, Romeo, the front 5.
It's not a long nor steep descent off this climb. I mean, the climb itself is much bigger than the descent, but nonetheless, any corner taken at speed with the help of gravity, they are going to have to be very careful based on what we've seen on the way up.
The roads and the way we've seen them. Scary stuff. As it's super stuff from a super Aussie. Caden Groves here at the front.
Well, normally it's the sprinter just hanging on for dear life in a group like this on the climb, but it's Groves taking control, wide around the corner looking for traction. This is not the moment to bring yourself undone, make a mistake or even a foot on the ground. That'll give the others the perfect opportunity to wind it up and try and offload you. At least sap your energy.
I think it was White who was saying earlier on that Caden Groves is much more than a sprinter, and I know you've been singing his praises for a long time. I sometimes wondered whether it was a bit of Queensland bias, but I tell you what, it's proven me that you were completely right. He's a Rolls Royce of a bike rider, isn't he?
He is. He has a massive engine. His capacity for climbing is quite incredible, that he can couple that with the speed that he has. I wouldn't call him a pure sprinter when you put him up against the likes of a Milan, a Merlier, but he is so versatile. And I've seen him win one-day races like the Volta Limburg in Holland. That's in the Amstel Gold region. And it is Hilliers,
anything,
all you know what. And he won it, and he won it. He attacked and went on his own in the end, or in a 2-up sprint at big engine. And he's controlling this at the moment, but they'll all be sitting there figuring out, well, how do we get rid of this guy?
How do we indeed? We're in the Doubs now. That's a lovely little tribute that I'm sure Jono appreciates. Have they made it? Have they got the white bits in?
Icing sugar.
I mean, if the icing sugar had survived on a day like today in the rain, it would be doing very well. God, that's a winner for me. I think that's the best one we've seen all tour.
I mean, it wasn't just the sports pitch line painting, wasn't it? There were shades of white there. That was incredible.
Oh,
now then, it is the shade of white with the Rocky Walla Spanish flag on the back that is moving away from the front. Ivan Romeo, he picks stages, he targets stages, very much in the mould of the old Thomas again. The other day he was in tears in Carcassonne because he'd had his eyes on it since the start. His dad had made the journey to him. He'd helped him recon stage before the tour itself. Exactly what he did when he won the Under-23 World Time Trial Championships in Switzerland. You know, Dad took a holiday 10 days before, and they were out there working on every corner. Romeo plans things, he plots things, and at the minute he's got the legs to take it to everybody else. 300 metres from the top, we know the KOM competition is done. That's going to Pogacar, mathematically over, but he is shelling riders out the back.
He's shelling riders, and he might have plotted, he might have planned. But it's hard to beat a local rider who could do it with his eyes shut.
And that is Romain Grégoire, looking to hope to end the drought for Groupama FDJ. And the riders that Romeo managed to shed don't have too much to work back on. They are Eenkorn, and looking behind him, look to be Giga. Of course, he's riding for the GC. Let's not forget about that.
Still got Velasco, Vandenbroek.
And now Groves.
Just Stewart, and Groves goes again.
Great stuff from Groves. 24 Ks to go. Velasco on his wheel. Exterior Astana have had a wonderful season, haven't they? But they've had nothing out of this Tour de France. Nowhere near the same sort of involvement every day. Nowhere near the same sort of picking up points here, left, there, right, everywhere. They haven't got probably their strongest team out here, and we know they're targeting other races where there are points on show, but Velasco there trying to get them a Tour stage win.
Harry Sweeney now paying dearly for the effort that he made, and then being caught basically at the first kilometre of the climb, paying in cash.
Yeah, and as Luke's been saying all week, there's not too much change left in the pocket by this time of the Tour. Incon and Giga on there behind it. And if you're just tuning in and wondering why I'm saying Giga's running for the GC here, he can't win, of course, the Tour de France. He's trying to move up from 11th to 10th. And as it stands on the road, with Ben O'Connor at 5 minutes and 10 in the yellow jersey group, he is moving up from 11th to 10th. This is Gregoire. He's on the move. He's trying to grab it.
Well, I wonder how many times he's reconned this stage, Romain Gregoire, after the announcement of the Tour. He'll not only know the roads, but he'll know them in all the different conditions that could have possibly been presented today, including rainy and wet and greasy conditions like this.
Clément Berthet was the other rider from the region. He comes from much closer to the finish in Pontarlier, but born in Besançon, just down the road, Gregoire, not too far away. It is his home area, home region.
Yep, close enough to go and ride the finale at least once a week, if not more.
Well, he made a Vuelta debut in 2023. His first Tour was last year. He is still only 22 years of age. A winner of the under-23 Liège-Bastogne-Liège. 5 pro wins in his debut season for Romain Gregoire. He's already been close in the Tour de France before. Remember day 2 last year and Kevin Vauquelin. He wasn't far off.
Gregoire, he's a guy who's got a lot of punch on a difficult finish. You know, uphill 1, 2, 3 kilometres. But then he's got the sprint to finish off and keep everyone else behind him. At the moment, they are all behind him, in his wheel, in his slipstream. Romeo says, I'll go again.
Spaniard off the front who won his first pro bike race this year, and he's down. Oh, that's a shocker.
Oh, Gregoire
as well. Gregoire down on the ground. Velasco following. Brooks stays up, and that's a shocking crash.
And we talked
Gregoire
about
on the left-hand side now. Velasco's getting going again, Robbie, and you said this might happen.
Well, we talked about the greasy conditions, how treacherous it is, and Romeo's gone down really, really hard. Gregoire, look, he was almost saved. You can see all that right side completely open. I guess you can know it as well as you want, but when it's that greasy, this is no good. This is really bad.
That for Romeo, straight into the curb and then into the police car after. Thankfully, he has the police officer there to help him. And this was a shocker at speed. Look at how he slides into the. Oh my word.
He's hit the curb as well. He's just come in really shallow. Obviously, not knowing where the course went. Front wheel just leaves him. And that's with his ribs against the gutter as well.
Yeah.
That's really nasty.
That's a shocker. They were pushing it. They know the risks. They know the conditions. We've seen it happen. You can see Gregoire tries to save it there. Velasco just about saves it. Stewart gets his foot out. Is okay. Groves
can see back there as well in the chasing groups, how much have they got left as well? There's a lot of riders here. Trentin, we've seen him. He's been, in difficulty. He's just getting, dropped out of the groups, then being picked up by groups coming from behind. So riders like that are not going to be able to give too much. And this is an interesting one now. We can see Groves just going to give it his all here. That's what you've got to do. Put your head down, go time trialling, and time trial for the next 14k.
In the meantime, on 10th place watch, it's as we were. It's about a minute to the good for Giga, and it's a wonderful bit of work from Mauro Schmidt, who is one of the heroes of the day.
Giga 29 to Groves. So at the moment, Giga remains 11th virtually, and O'Connor still 10th. Just done a quick calculation.
Was he not 4 minutes?
It was, sorry, it was 4:0. Yeah. So was it 4:08?
Yeah, he has a minute. He has a minute.
No, he has less than a minute. It was 4:08. So he's got about 30, 40 seconds still. Anyway.
Giga has 5 minutes in front of the peloton.
Yes, you got 50 seconds.
All right, we'll go there. We'll have a happy medium.
Okay. Gotcha.
Well, he's moved on, General. Up one.
We'll have that one, so
I'm off to buy myself a calculator. I'm going to get a calculator.
It's stage 20, boys.
All right, Groves. What he's got in front of him now is 3 kilometres uphill at 4% average gradient. Not a classified climb, but it'll feel like a classified climb. It's equal to any Cat 4 we've seen so far in this tour.
Up the hill they're about to go. 2 chasing groups on your screen. Giga group at 39 now and drifting. Jorgensen group at 50 and going further back. Can Groves grab this one? Jorgensen pulling that on up the hill, just as Adam said he did all the way up that last hill. And in this group, Van der Broek is riding. Stewart sits there. Van der Broek looks behind.
Stewart doesn't take over, goes alongside, but not over. Velasco swings across into the wheel of Van der Broek. Enkhorn goes through. And Giga, well, he's just got back in touch with this group, and he's not working with them at the moment. He's expended so much energy trying to move himself up on GC and hold it.
Sean, this is perfect for Caden Groves, all of this playing around.
Yes, it is, and we can see now he's on the climb here, and he just have to keep a real strong pace, get over, and then get back into that rhythm again of giving it your all here in the final kilometres. It would be interesting to see as we, the group of Jorgensen, just 10 seconds at the moment. When they come across, will there be somebody be able to attack out of this group who has been maybe keeping a little bit in reserve for this final climb? That is going to be the question, and if that does happen, where we see maybe 1 or 2 riders get out of this group and then try and get across, but Groves looking really, really good, still good cadence there, and just attacking this climb.
Caden Groves then, looking to make it 3-stage twins for Alpecin. They won on day 1, didn't they? Jasper Phillips, it seems like an age ago now. They won on day 2 with Mathieu van der Poel. They haven't won since. They've had yellow jersey with 2 riders. They've had an excellent Tour de France, but Groves, who stated, remember, since the Vuelta last year, now there were a few eyebrows raised, I want to go to the Tour de France. And everyone's thinking, well, hang on a minute. Jasper Phillips is going, isn't he? You won't be going. But he said, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I know that there are harder stages, harder sprints for me. In the end, he might not need a sprint because he's got 51 seconds on the chasers. He's riding uphill and his bosses are sitting in the car absolutely delighted with what they are looking at. Here's Enkhorn. He's dropping back to this Jorgensen group who once again he's being forced to do all the riding up the hill. And all this, actually, this bit of playing around behind is better for Ben O'Connor as well, because that group has lost a little bit of time, whereas Schmidt and Connor continue to ride, and O'Connor and Schmidt have got it down to roughly just over 30 seconds now, that gap. Of course, on the road, it is 4.5 minutes.
Yep, that leaves, what, 24, 25 seconds advantage for Giga. in GC at the moment, but they're coming at him. But look at the gap for Groves on the nearest pursuers, out to 50 seconds now.
Now Stewart is riding again. Van den Broek is with him. There's Velasco, there's Giga, they're just off that. Then it's the Jorgensen group. Jorgensen continuing to ride hard. This is his opportunity, his chance. He came so close last year, didn't he, at the Tour? He thought he was going to win the stage, and then Pogacar chased him down. Since won a second Paris-Nice. This looks like it could be the end of the opportunities for Matteo Trentin today. A three-time Tour de France stage winner. The last time in 2019 from that brilliant breakaway. And today just losing contact. Tudor looking for their first ever Grand Tour stage win. It's 50 metres on the road from Giga to Jorgensen. But the important gaps are the ones that say 50 and 55, because they're the lead over the various groups. For Caden Groves, he's just got over 10 kilometres to go now.
Yes, well, it's looking really good for Groves here, as we can see.
Stewart now left behind.
They're starting to panic here, and you know, they have rights to be, because this is getting away from them now. And yeah, when Groves went away, we see the two riders, Stewart and Van den Broek. I think Stewart made a bit of a mistake not to follow, and you know, certainly do not leave Groves out of your sight here. But yeah, Van den Broek was the one I think caused that little bit of unorganisation with that three-man breakaway, and the experienced Groves said, yeah, if I attack here, they might just look at each other, and that's exactly what happened. And now we can see 52 seconds, and we can see the way they're all over this climb we're going up at the moment. This is just telling the effort they put in already today to get into this breakaway, because of it being so contested. This man, he is you know, putting in a big performance here, and you would expect a sprinter like Groves, okay, I'm in the front here, I'm just going to ride with these guys, mark them and wait for the finish, and that is the mentality of a sprinter. But this man, he had other ideas.
As I'll repeat what I said before, as Whitey said earlier on, he's more than a sprinter, and he's proving it.
Well, Caden Groves, he's got about another 500 metres until he gets a downhill section. So he's over the worst of this incline. It just is a bit more of a false flat, maybe 2% drag up to 9.5, 9.4 K to go. He'll get a dip down, and then it's more or less completely flat through to the finish. So Groves, he's defended himself over what looked to be the biggest obstacle in his way. The only other obstacles are all on bikes behind him. Frank van den Broek, well, he must be kicking himself with the decision he made based on Jake Stewart and not paying enough attention and giving enough kudos to Caden Groves. You know, with Groves, he's had 20 wins in his career. The last 8 have all been Grand Tour stages. Every single one of the last 8. 2 in the Giro, bookend, 6 in the Vuelta.
Saves them for the big occasions. 9 Ks to go for Groves. It's looking very good for him, as Giga now faces a battle against time and those behind. He's given a lot today, trying to rise from 11th to 10th, which certainly for him, say he was top 10 in the Tour de France, for his team would be huge. Now then, we've all seen what's happened so far today. Fellow Queenslander McEwen is gesturing at the screen to take your time, to be conservative.
He is giving it so much respect, every bit of respect it deserves. But even when you're out there, you know the roads are greasy and treacherous, so you slow yourself down. You know you're doing the right thing, but there's a little part in your brain that says, go faster, don't hand any time back.
54 seconds to Velasco. Van den Broek somewhere in the middle. Here he goes again. That knee out. By the way, he ended up in cycling by accident. Let's not forget, did Caden Groves. It was an accident on the motorcycle, wasn't he? He was a big fan of motocross. Apparently he stated Sporting Heroes, a gentleman named Chad Reed, a motocrosser, a very famous motocrosser. He likes a bit of golf, does Caden, just like Mathieu van der Poel in his team. And he's a big Bon Jovi fan, so I imagine that internally now, the rock and roll music, the heavy stuff's playing.
Living on a prayer.
He doesn't need one of them at the minute.
It's more than that. It's the prayer is what the rest of them need. That's all they're living on.
And the motocross from the earlier days helped him well today, because we see a number of times there where it went sideways and it went in different directions. The front wheel was going, the rear wheel was going, and that's something that some riders can do. Not panic on the bike is the main thing, and just go for the brakes, because if you do that, you're going to go down. But it is the normal reaction, and we can see here 43 seconds at the moment. If this man is going to just time her all the way, but Van den Broek, like, when you see the hill they've been over, he should have just continued on riding with them and then try something on the hill here we've just been over. And it was always going to be a problem. If you try to sit on just with 3 riders in the front, it's not going to work, and it's going to be just total mayhem then, and that's what happened here. But Van den Broek now, I don't think he's going to bridge this one in the next 6.6k.
Jega just off the back here. This is looking more encouraging for Jacob Alula for maintaining that 10th place as the kilometres tick by. Van den Broek almost 40 seconds. That gap is closing. He's an interesting rider as well. Remember, played a massive part in that firework finale last year. Oh, well, just as things were getting better, it looks as though that's that call off the search, because there's nothing left, no energy left for Ben O'Connor or for Mauro Schmid. And it's up to everyone else to work it. So just as it was coming back, Robbie, it's going to grow out again.
It is, yeah. Full finale in front, and O'Connor and Schmidt are both cooked. O'Connor, he will just have to do everything he can to hang on to this group by the looks of things, really struggling, but the gap has blown back out. So he's about 55 seconds out of 10th now.
Jega will be getting that message too, to ride, ride and ride. However empty he is, just ride for time. He is in this group, and while he's in this group, it's good, because at the moment the chase does continue, but you get to a feeling now then, Jorgensen won't just ride completely to the end, will he, here?
No, these riders now, they're thinking about, all right, what can I get out of this? Can I get third? Can I get second? Because with a minute deficit on Caden Groves with 5.5 kilometres to go, it would take something incredibly unfortunate for Caden Groves to get caught by anyone behind him. 47 seconds now from Groves to Van den Broek. Dry roads, as Robbie points out, on the way to Pontarlier today. First time in over 20 years there'll be a tour stage finishing there. Groves, he's looking better even than he was a few kilometres ago, Sean, because Van den Broek looked like he was bringing it back. It's gone out to 48 again.
Well, when Van den Broek went in the attack, of course, you do put in that big effort for a time, and then you pull down a number of seconds on the man leading here, and then it starts to float out again, and that's what's happening. 47, 46 at the moment, where Caden Groves is just continuing on at this real strong pace, and that's what you've got to do when you've been out here for quite a while. He did it in the climb. We see on the descent, he was just taking it cautiously, and then get back into that pushing and to go all the way. And 47 seconds at 4.5k to go. If you had a group here like this at 45 seconds, then it would be a bit of a more danger one. But a sole rider, I think Groves is going to take it all the way.
4 kilometres to go. The Giga group now at 58 seconds, but of course the peloton at well over 5 minutes again. And it's clear, Robbie, that UAE aren't going to ride with the same ferocity as the two guys from Jayco were.
No way. It's just about safety. Get to the line, tick off another day, and then make their way to Paris to just keep Tadej Pogacar safe, nestled in the yellow jersey. They won't do any more than they absolutely need to.
And we won't have the usual announcements from the likes of me, you or Sean yet to say that Tadej, barring incident or accident, has won the Tour yet, because we know that tomorrow is, or we expect it to be raced in a different way. But it is looking increasingly like, it's looked like it for a long time now, that it is Tadej's Tour, this.
Yeah, I think no matter how they race it tomorrow, it will be Tadej's Tour. But I'm looking forward after today to the 21st one-day classic in a row of this Tour de France.
And we will be there. We'll see you. We'll see you in the flesh tomorrow, Robbie, on the Champs-Élysées.
We cannot wait. We can't wait to see you guys. And
don't know if you intended to say that, but
have our little team together.
Now in this group.
Chase.
Yeah, 55 seconds, 3Ks to go. Groves is ready to grab his opportunity.
It's like they've got their sights. Sorry, it's like they've got their sights on this man. They've got their sights on Van den Broeke, but that's all they'll see. They won't even see the victory celebration, I don't think, of Caden Groves.
It looks as though Groves is going to go on to win this, but Van den Broeke is a rider who's going places now that, he can't hear.
He wants information. Well,
Talk to me, Christoph.
I wish you could hear us, Caden, but it's not a bad thing, really, because it's going to keep him going 100%.
Well, maybe that's the tactic. Maybe he's a man of few words, is Christoph, isn't he?
Well, this could be a tactic as well by Groves. If the wind is coming from the side a little bit, the Commissar are 2.5 kilometres, 2.6 kilometres to go. Maybe they're not too keen on leaving the car up. And if you give that signal, maybe the car might get up for a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, it's 2.5 kilometres to go, 46 seconds for Van den Broeke here. You know, this man is going to go all the way. It looked like it's a number of kilometres out, unless this group coming up that we're going to see something coming from them. But
there you go, he's on the right side.
Here we go with the car.
Sean, you old sly fox, you know all the tricks still.
Well, it's the one that I think, over the years, you learn all of those tricks.
But it just is not going to matter anyway. Caden Groves is taking this all the way to the bank. We're going to have two Queenslanders on the podium. Harry Sweeney, the Prix de Combativité, most combative rider of the stage. But Groves, so much more than a sprinter. He's a man who's so versatile. Came to the Tour as a worker, a sprint domestique for Jasper Philipsen, fulfilled that role on day one. Got his own opportunity after Philipsen went out. But what a way to make your own mark in the Tour de France. You know what? I've got to say, last thing from me, a man who was born in Gympie, a couple hours north of Brisbane in Queensland, lives on the Sunshine Coast. Quite the opposite to what we've had today out on course when he's at home in Australia. And the way he's pulled this one off, a guy who's a very good sprinter, but not a pure one, can climb, can do so much more. I'm going to reuse a nickname that we know very well. And as he goes under a kilometre to go, King Caden is going to get a Tour stage.
And King Kelly will sit with me to talk him over the line. Thanks, Robbie. We'll hear all of your analysis in the break in a moment. And this is for Caden Groves. We were saying just a while ago that he was going to complete the trilogy. Jonathan informs me he'll be the 114th rider to win stages on all three Grand Tours once he does it. And he's going to do it in style, Sean.
Yes, he's done it in style, and you know, he's been doing it all day in style, but this is the real finish to it. And we see the way, you know, he was he was riding all day. The way he took it, you know, and went alone as a sprinter, this is a real big one.
He knows now. The bells ring, they bang the boards, but there's no sprint finish today. Caden Groves is going to fulfill a dream. One of those was to just turn up at the Tour de France. The other, to win a stage. You would imagine he'd do it in a sprint. But even for a sprinter, this is every bike rider's dream. Racing alone, riding out there, soloing away. A chance to enjoy the moment and becoming a Tour de France stage winner. Emotion across his face. Caden Groves wins stage 20 of this brilliant Tour de France. It's a third stage for his team. It's a third stage in terms of winning all Grand Tour stages for him. He's got several of them across the different ones, but completes the set and now rides home a rider looking to take points for his team in their fight against relegation. Van den Broek's been second before. On that day, helped his mate to win. He's trying to force more points in the issue here. Can he hold on? Ian Cornwall chased him. Van den Broek tried. Has the finish line in front. It's an Australian who win. It could well be Dutchies in second and third. Another top young rider coming through the development team for Picnic Postanel. Van der Broek takes second. Incorn takes third. There will be a sprint, but it'll be for fourth. And through the middle, you can see Grégoire at home, despite the crash, bringing it home. That was a crazy, crazy stage that was brilliantly won, in style and alone, by the emotional Caden Grove. You see exactly what it means to win here.
Well, we see this man when Jasper Philipsen went out of the race. There was a lot of pressure on him to try and win in the stages, but he was against the faster men. Today he went out, got into that breakaway, and we see the way he was just so prominent in the breakaway, pushing it along, and then in the final we see there he got himself into the right selection and just took the opportunity when he see it to go alone, and what a performance here. And over this sort of terrain we were saying, well, the sprinters, the punch is going to be a difficult day, but when you're on a break, this is what you can do. And he went out and he put in a monster performance.
A monstrous performance from everyone on the road today to get round. Another full gas day. An average of over 45 kilometres per hour once more in the rain. 3,000 metres of climbing. And there's the acknowledgement between those who are first, second and third. They worked together as teammates all day, from one Queenslander to another. He had a chance, the other won it, and look at that. It's a wonderful sight. The emotion for the right reasons.
Yes, and at this point in the tour, of course, well, when it gets late and you have been trying for many days, opportunities maybe in the sprints and other days as well, we see Groves trying to filter into the breakaways, but never getting really into that final in a position where he looked like he could have go for stage win. And when it comes so late, tomorrow, of course, a different stage, so for Groves it might be a bit more complicated. The emotions just come pouring out, and of course, yes, all three big tours, when you get that as well, stage win and all of those ones, with it all, it's normal that the emotions start to really pour.
Caden Groves wins stage 20 of this year's Tour de France. He beats Frank van der Broek, Pascal Inghorn, and a whole host of riders in the day's breakaway that took a long, long time to form. It was a fight to get there, a fight to win the stage, a fight won by the man from the eastern side of Australia, who wins on the eastern side of France. It's a 10th Grand Tour stage win for Caden Groves. It's his biggest, his first at the Tour de France. 7 at the Vuelta, 2 at the Giro, and now 1 here as Owen Costiou finishes 3:45 down. This was the emotional moment of the day. Alpecin winning the first 2 days. Alpecin winning again on stage 20, and with Van der Poel and Philipsen at home, you might have thought that they might not be a factor again, and you would have thought wrong. I mean, for a sprinter to win alone like that as well, it's a dream, isn't it?
It is a dream, and it's probably better than winning in a sprint, unless you beat the big ones like a Merlier and Milan. But when you get into a breakaway, win out of a very big breakaway and a talented breakaway, and the win in the style he did, go solo in the last kilometres, then it is a win. And the emotions are building as well. In the final number of kilometres, we see when he called the car there, all of that was going on, and he knew that behind there was no way they were coming back to him. And when you get to the finishing line in the last couple of 100 metres, we could see the way he was just roaring, crying, coming over the line with the emotions just pouring out.
Different type of emotions here. Ben O'Connor being consoled by his former teammate Aurélien Paré-Peintre, because they all know that he's about to lose the top 10 in the Tour de France. For now, we know tomorrow's going to be raced. But Jordan Gigat today getting in that move ahead. Well, first it affected the move because he was a passenger they didn't want. Threatened their freedom for a while. Being on there, working hard, and Schmidt having crashed, emptying himself. O'Connor giving his best as well. As the Even the fire station's got a message for us there, and they love it too. We all do, certainly with the racing it's given us. We've seen 2 trilogies completed in this year's tour. Tim Whelan's doing it. And now a stage win in all Grand Tours for Caden Groves. Robbie was saying now his last 9 wins, all coming at this top level. But we all know that the Tour de France means that a bit more. And Caden Groves had never even been here until this year. Has taken it. This is the UAE Team Emirates peloton led in. Jonas Vingegaard is in there in the King of the Mountains jersey. Florian Lipovic as well. Big smiles, all smiles for UAE Team Emirates. This isn't quite the normal feeling you get on stage 20 when you know the procession is coming and it's all done and dusted, really. XTS Astana 1 points. Oh, and there's a crash, And just as we said, it's not all done and dusted. Pogacar avoids that one. Van Aert smiles alongside with him. And in the search for points, in the search for those placings, Mike Turnson goes away. There is a crash towards the end there. Vingegaard looking around. He's alongside Pogacar. He's alongside Lipovic. But Ride is going down there. It just shows that at this tour anything can happen. We know that tomorrow, as Lipovic comes across the line here, things shake of the head, so close, pat on the back. Things can change at any time. It's not the usual situation, is what I was about to finish saying before that occurred, Sean. But we do think that tomorrow, barring a bizarre point in the race, that Tadej Pogacar will win a 4th tour.
Yes, well, he's looking so good here. We can see this running again, the little correction there, touch of wheels and down they go. And yeah, you could see it coming there that they were just shaping up for that sprint and, you know, the places to be picked up. But there's so many riders in front, I don't think there's anything to be got point-wise. But we can see there, for the GC men, this is always, you know, you're worried that some guys will take a lot of risk, crash and, you know, possibly take out. As we can see here, a lot of the riders not happy with what the others that went on the deck were doing.
12 riders across the line, Sean, points down to 15th place in stages. And look at this, you've got this far in the Tour de France. This now happens. You just want to get to Paris, and this is Damien Touzé, who thankfully is going to be able to finish today. And we hope that it'll be all right to start tomorrow.
So little points to be gained, and that was the reason, yeah, we see that they were just, you know, making the little effort to get the 2 final places.
15, 10 and 5
you're
points.
a man who has already won a lot of races and on Grand Tours, on the Vuelta, on the Giro. But apparently winning a stage on the Tour de France really means something.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's so many emotions to win here. The team, we come in with so many different plans with Jasper and Mathieu. And in the end, I get my own opportunities that they haven't gone the right way. But today, I mean, yeah, I had super legs, and I just suffered to the light. And in reward, we get a tour stage.
Because honestly, we were not expecting a sprint finish. We were not expecting a sprinter. How did you do it?
Oh, the team, gave me the free roll the last days. Especially today, we weren't sure whether to go for the stage with myself or stay for tomorrow. But it starts to fall. I always have a super feeling normally in the cold weather, and yeah, it's like I said, it's my first time ever winning solo at a tour stage, so it's pretty incredible.
This is what, a childhood dream?
Well, not really a childhood because I only start cycling quite late, but I mean, there's so much pressure at the tour, and it's always, having one in the Giro, one in the Vuelta. All I ever get asked is, am I good enough to win in the tour? And now I showed them.
tell us how you did it, because I mean, you're so strong out there. You avoided the crashes. You attacked when you needed to. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to play my cards right to get in the early move. Obviously, the uphill start was incredibly difficult. But then when I made the break, it's about making the selection. I knew that Jorgensen and Wellens would probably watch each other. So of course I tried to distance myself from them. And then after the crash, Van den Broeke goes full.
Well, the dream, as we're explaining with Robbie, cycling wasn't his first passion. Tell you what, when they ask him now if he's good enough, he was more than good enough. He taught everyone a lesson out there today. Caden Groves doing what most cyclists can only dream of, as others in their current state just dream of getting to Paris. It's to Paris we will go tomorrow with Caden Groves, a Tour de France stage winner. And that, as you well know, for anyone involved in cycling, changes everything.
Life-changing, Rob. Thank you so much for that. Caden Groves, not just good enough to win a stage of the Tour de France, but as a sprinter, good enough to go on a long solo attack and win on his own, Robbie. That's a very special way to win a Tour de France stage, isn't it?
And as I said in comms, it's been a while since the nickname's been in the peloton, but I'm going with King Caden, because after a ride like that is, I mean, we call him a sprinter, and yes, he's very fast, and he's won most of his races in sprint, but he's won in other ways and shown that he's so strong. I think it was about, 80k from the line, for saying, you know, when it rains, Caden often wins. His wins in the Giro have been in the rain, and he said it in his interview, when the rain starts to fall, he said, I feel really good. And he was just on a day, you could see it. Matt's worked with him in the team for a number of years. I've known him for quite a while, done a little bit of work with him as well, and I'm just really proud of him to get this far and then take an opportunity when the team was sort of falling apart around him, the crash of Philipsen and then Mathieu out of the race, and to come up with this, that is unbelievable. So good.
Yeah, Matt, you know him very well. You were cheering on your boy. He was on your development team, spent the first 3 years of his professional career with you. What will this mean to him?
Oh, little mini earth. He's been waiting so long to even get a start at the Tour de France. And his palmarès already, the amount of stages he's won in the Giro and the Vuelta is impressive alone. And like Robbie said, he came into this tour. The reason why Jasper Philipsen won the first stage was from a very, very good lead out from Caden. Again, he played his team role to the T, and then actually he was running out of when it was his chance to get an opportunity to win. He actually didn't have too many troops left to help him. And so the best way for him to go out there, and like he said, he didn't know whether it was at a stage they were going to ride for him to put himself into the breakaway. That's one thing. He did that, great work. But the way he won out of that breakaway is one he'll never forget.
And you could feel the release of that pressure pouring out in the emotion in that post-race interview, the way he celebrated across the line as well. Look, because for anyone who doesn't know so much about Caden Groves, he is a seasoned winner. This is his 21st win of his career. But he's won 9 Grand Tour stage wins before, 7 at the Vuelta, 2 at the Giro. And as Matt says, this is his first time being able to even start a Tour de France. But then he's riding in support of Jasper Philipsen. He's much of Van der Poel in the team as well. Both of them have abandoned, and he gets his chance at glory on stage 20. What a way to take it.
Yeah, I love it when the domestiques, the helpers, get success. I love nothing more than that. So he's came in to support them 2 riders, like we explained, Jasper and Mathieu. They've both gone home. Suddenly, the doors swing open. They go, right, take your chance, mate. And so much could have gone wrong today. You missed the break. You know, nobody would have wanted to go to the line with him. So we had to figure out a way to, you know, still stay in contention. He'd have been one of the most attacked guys, clearly the fastest. So